Welcome again to the College of Southern Idaho. The law enforcement graduation ceremony will begin in 20 minutes. At this time, we invite you to begin finding your seat and ensure that your cell phone is silenced. Guests are welcome to take photos from their seats. Please be mindful of those around you and help us maintain clear aisles and walkways throughout the ceremony. And for those joining us remotely, today's ceremony is available by live stream at csi.edu/commencement/law. Again, that's csi.edu/commencement/law. Welcome to the College of Southern Idaho Law Enforcement graduation. The ceremony will begin in 10 minutes. Please be seated and ensure that all cell phones are silenced. For everyone's safety and comfort, we ask that all aisles remain clear throughout the ceremony. This event honors not only the hard work and determination of our graduates, but also the support of family, friends, instructors, and agency partners who helped them reach this milestone. We are glad you can join us for this celebration. Welcome to the College of Southern Idaho. The law enforcement graduation ceremony will begin in 5 minutes. Please take your seat and silence your cell phones at this time. For guests attending with children, thank you for helping them remain seated with you during the ceremony. Welcome to the College of Southern Idaho Law Enforcement Graduation Ceremony. We're proud to celebrate today's graduates as they prepare to serve their communities with professionalism and integrity. The ceremony will begin very shortly. Please be seated, silence your cell phones, and prepare to enjoy today's ceremony. Thank you.
If you're present tonight and you're going to present the graduation paperwork to officers from your agency, if you could come on up here and take your place on the stage. but it's only 3 minutes long. So keep it going. After the video is done, you guys are all situated again. I'll check in. Good evening and welcome to the Spring 2026 Law Enforcement Graduation Ceremony. Before we begin tonight, please join me in recognizing and thanking the members of the CSI Board of Trustees, as well as the President of the College of Southern Idaho. If you're in attendance, please stand and receive our thanks. Board Member Anna Scholes, Board Member Jan Mitleiter, Board Member Laird Stone, Board Member Scott McClure, Board Chair Josh Kern, and the President of the College of Southern Idaho, Dr. Eldine Fisher. Thank you so much for all you do to support not only the law enforcement students on this campus, but all the students at the College of Southern Idaho. With that, we'll play a short video that shows some of the things that the students got to do this semester. It's about 3 minutes in length, and after that, we'll have the students come in. So when they tell you it was all work, they had a lot of fun too. It's a beautiful part is watching all of them grow from what they started out as, and everybody grew a lot, so that was very impressive. With that, we will bring in the spring 2026 graduates of the College of Southern Idaho's Law Enforcement Training Program. Class, take seat.
Everybody's on duty.
So we have 18 graduates, and all 18 of them successfully completed their post-challenge exam. So each one of these folks is eligible or is already hired. So we have a great group. In my time here, which is, this is the end of my third year, this is the highest scoring class in terms of their grade points, and also the highest overall in terms of their post-challenge exam scores. Very, very great group of people. One of the things I liked most about them is that they were able to help each other. They were helping each other grow. They gave each other a hard time a lot, but they took it really well. And I think everybody knew how far to take it, and they did a great job. I'm going to give a shout out to several members tonight, but there is one in particular who mentored and helped someone achieve when they were struggling. And that student is William Berg of the Rupert Police Department. So I give him a hand. So as we get going on the program tonight, I'm glad you dedicated the next 5 hours here. I appreciate that. I'm just kidding. I'm going to introduce our keynote speaker. Now, the keynote speaker is selected by the students. They vote on it. My job is to veto it if it's not appropriate for us, or to not let the same people do it over and over again. As much as that is nice, we need to get new people in here. So this year, the students voted to have Val Stotts be our keynote speaker. Val was born and raised in Idaho and graduated from the University of Idaho, where she met her husband, Craig. They will celebrate 29 years of marriage next month. Craig retired from law enforcement at the Twin Falls Police Department after 26 years of service. For the past 28 years, Val has served as the program director of the Safe House, a local group home supporting adolescent foster youth in the community. Over that time, she has touched the lives of several people in my class and countless others out there. In fact, I met Val on a Shop with a Cop some time back, and great family. So we're very grateful to have Val Stotts as our keynote speaker.
Good evening. First, I want to thank the CSI Law Enforcement Program, the instructors, and the leadership who made tonight possible. And to the graduates sitting before us, congratulations. You've earned this exciting moment. I've had the privilege of working with two of tonight's graduates, Pete Espel and Thomas Tom. And honestly, I blame them for putting me up here tonight. I told them they should have nominated my husband, not me. But they said they wanted a perspective from a family member of a police officer. And as they'll tell you, I reluctantly agreed. I say that because I'm very comfortable talking about my work and the Safe House, but talking about my personal life like this is actually a lot outside my comfort zone. With that said, I stand here tonight as the spouse of a retired police officer. My family and I were sitting in the audience, like all of you tonight, at a post-graduation 28 years ago. Tonight we honor those who wear the badge, but we must also honor the families who stand behind it. Because every act of courage on the street begins with a quiet act of courage at home. So tonight, I want to share with the loved ones and the graduates in the audience my lived experience, my perspective, and the habits that helped me through the years of being married to a police officer. Communication. At the beginning of my husband's career, I couldn't wait to hear about his shift when he got home. But as we started a family, life got a little busier. There was less time to talk through every detail of his shift, and more time spent catching up on everything happening at home. Like the time our 2-year-old decided the living room carpet needed an entire bottle of syrup. That's definitely a memory we won't forget. As with any relationship, communication is essential. Be there to listen after a challenging shift, but also understand there will be times when they won't want to talk about their day. Try not to take that personally. Sometimes they just want to leave work and not bring it home. They also need time to transition. As you know, when a police officer is on duty, they live in a heightened state of awareness. And when they come home, that doesn't just switch off. They need time to decompress and shift out of that mindset. Give them the space when they need it and support when they're ready. On the flip side, it's just as important that they are there for you, to listen and stay connected what's been going on in your life while they've been at work. A healthy relationship needs two people, each giving 100%, not 50-50. Community. Embrace your law enforcement community because this profession becomes part of your life. Other law enforcement families get it. They understand the late nights, the missed holidays, the sudden schedule changes, and the emotional weight that can come home after a shift. You don't have to explain it, they already know it. Being connected to others in the same life gives you people to lean on, to talk to, and to learn from. You'll celebrate the good days together and carry the hard ones together. You'll be flexible, resilient, and strong in ways you've never expected, and that support will matter more than you know. Most importantly, you'll build friendships that last a lifetime. I know we did. We met our best friends at TFPD. Faith. Faith has been my foundation. It helped me manage the challenges and uncertainties that come with being married to a police officer, and it taught me to trust in God's plan. It also meant having faith in their training. People would often ask me, "Don't you worry about your husband's safety?" And of course I did. I think we all worry about the people we love. But to be frank, I worried more about my sister's safety. She's a school principal. My husband was trained to protect himself and others. He had the equipment, the vest, and the support of his squad. I found peace in knowing he was well-trained and never alone. Someone always had his six. For those of you who don't know what that means, that's cop lingo for having someone's back. Flexibility. There will be last-minute cancellations and missed celebrations. Learn to adjust and to celebrate when you can, and sometimes on a completely different day. There may be times when big moments get missed, so celebrate the small ones. Plan a lunch date while the kids are at school, a day off together, or a cup of coffee in the morning. Those small moments matter more than you think. It's not about the date on the calendar, it's about the memories you create together. Your police department. Always work for an agency that supports you, not just as an officer, but as a person with a family and a life outside the badge. Work for an agency that values flexibility and understands the importance of those moments that matter most. We were fortunate to be part of an agency like that, one that allowed officers, when possible, to stop by birthday parties, sporting events, and even holidays. That kind of support made all the difference. It made working those long shifts and missing important occasions just a little bit more bearable. Some of the best memories were of my husband stopping by family gatherings in his uniform. To us, it meant everything, and to the kids, he just wasn't dad or uncle in that moment. He was a celebrity. They'd crowd around him, wide-eyed, wanting to know all the cool gadgets on his duty belt. And of course, they wanted to hear the lights and siren. And for a few minutes, in the middle of a busy shift, he was right there with us, creating memories. Now, as an officer working for an agency, nobody expects you to be perfect, but everybody expects you to have integrity. When you make a mistake, and you will, fall on your sword, own your mistake, learn from your mistake, and move forward. Accountability and honesty will earn respect long after the mistake itself is forgotten. Sleep schedule. As you know, it's so important to create a good sleep environment, one where you can get rest no matter what time of day it is. But as we raised our family, we didn't want our kids to feel like they had to tiptoe around their home while their dad slept during the day. It just didn't feel right to plan their entire lives around a work and sleep schedule. So instead, we made a simple choice. We invested in earplugs, and I strongly encourage you to do the same. It's a small thing, but it makes a big difference. I even remember one of my husband's coworkers who took it to a next level. He slept with those earmuffs you'd wear on the gun range. Whatever works, right? It's about finding that balance, making sure you get the rest you need while your family still gets to live, laugh, and be a family. Last, I want to share what I witnessed as a spouse as some of the keys to a successful career in law enforcement. Keep perspective what matters most. The badge is part of your life, but it's not all of it. When the shift ends, go home and be present. It's easy for the job to take over everything. Don't let it. Your family doesn't need the uniform. They need you. Protect your relationships, protect your family, and protect your time together. Take care of yourself and take care of the people who love you. Have a foundation of faith, something that grounds you and carries you through both the good days and the hard ones. And don't lose who you are outside of this job. Have your own identity, your own friendships, your own hobbies beyond law enforcement. The badge is important, but the person wearing it matters more. Congratulations again. Stay safe, stay grounded, and let integrity guide your actions. God bless you, and thank you.
Thank you very much, Val. Great topic. Okay, next up is the class president's addresses. So there's a class president in both the Detention Academy as well as the Patrol Academy. And the class president's address first comes from the Detention Academy. So Deputy Caleb J. Rose Darnell.
Well, good evening, everybody. And for probably the third time today, thank you all for coming. In all seriousness, we all appreciate you being here. It's a big moment for us all. It's the start of a life-changing career, the acceptance of a mission important to countless people, and the recognition of the responsibilities, the challenges, the flaws, and the benefits of this job. No matter who you are, where you've come from, what life you have lived, that all changes the moment you pick up a badge and a gun. You choose to take on certain attributes and skills that just a few other careers demand of those who choose them. One of the most important abilities to your agency, to your communities, and to your families most importantly, is resiliency. I learned how important resiliency was early in my career, but it took me a long time to get it right. Starting this profession as a young 21-year-old, I was inexperienced in both life and the job. But being a recruit with the Twin Falls Police Department opened my eyes to the things that happen in the world that you don't often hear or see. After not quite being able to adjust to it all, I was recommended a place to go where I could learn more. That's when I started with the Twin Falls County Jail, the first time. Once there, I learned a lot, really, really fast. I had to, not only to advance my career, but to simply do the job of a detention deputy. I had a new appreciation for all the staff inside a jail after starting that job. And while I grew fond of the job, the team I was a part of, and the excitement of the jail, my heart eventually drew me back to patrol. That's when I started with the Filer Police Department. It was a new experience being a cop in the town you grew up in. It showed me the real meaning behind community caretaking and the kind of things that a small town asks of its police officers. I loved the job even more after getting back on the road with them. But after a series of events, I ended back up in the place I learned the most, here with the Twin Falls County Sheriff's Office. And this time, since I plan on staying, I was able to attend the CSI Detention Academy, which is how I ended up here with you all tonight. With all these experiences, short-lived as they may be, I learned how to be resilient, to bounce back quick, learn from mistakes, and focus on the next mission. If I hadn't, I wouldn't have been able to learn as much as I have at this academy or live the way that my life has been going. Or even work with and meet these great people who I have the honor of serving in this profession with. That being said, I know that resiliency won't be hard for those of us here on stage to master. Between being bold enough to take on the taser and the OC spray, grappling with people either twice our size or with people twice as experienced, and endlessly studying and preparing to pass that final exam. I know that all of us up here have the resiliency to take on this job. I know that each of us up here have the heart to do the job too. I know that moment we started. I knew that the moment we started. To even have the desire to do this job takes a lot of compassion for those around you. They've demonstrated that compassion every step of the way through helping each other get to this stage, working through each of the scenarios that we faced, or pushing each other to achieve more together. Each of us is going to need compassion and resiliency to make it through this job. We'll need it to help that inmate dealing with a sudden separation from the outside world as a result of their crimes. We'll need it to help that elderly neighbor suffering from dementia who wandered too far from home. We'll need it to make the right decisions and search for the truth during every shift and every investigation. We'll need it to make it through walking away from our families each morning and each night. Our families will need not just that compassion and resiliency, but a lot of patience too. We'll have days that go late, days that drain energy, days that demand all of our attention. While it's beyond important to make sure that our families remain our #1 priority, these days will still happen. My wife, Maya, had to learn this when we started our life together. Although I still seem to test her patience with me every day, like when I forget what it was that she just asked me to do, or I bring up a random topic in the middle of our conversations. One of the many great things about her, though, is she always understands the job, what it takes to get through the day to make it. Becca. Her supporting me while I navigate this career is something that I can never show enough appreciation for. Even so, I can still say thank you, Maya, for all that you have done and will do to keep our marriage going as we push through this career together. On the topic of giving thanks, thank you, Mrs. Stotts, for coming and sharing your knowledge with us. Thank you, Mr. Roush, for choosing to do this job and teach us the ins and outs of this career. Thank you to all the dignitaries being here tonight to show us your support and that you have our backs. And thank you guys, most importantly, for choosing this job and picking up a badge and a gun to live the life of law enforcement. Thank you.
Next will be the president of the Patrol Academy, Thomas Tom.
Thank you all for being here. I'm sure you get tired of being thanked, but I'm going to let you know I'm probably not going to look at all of you the entire time. I wrote my speech for the guys behind me. I'm happy you were all here to hear it, and there's going to be good things in all of it. but they're the ones I wrote this for. And so I'm gonna take this, and I'm gonna make sure that I can turn around and see the people who need to hear what I wrote. So I wanna say thank you, my friends, my family, my coworkers, supervisors, both present and previous who are here, but most importantly, greetings and thank you to my fellow classmates who made this class a joy to be part of. It's been an honor to be your class president. I know the title is largely honorary, but it's been a pleasure to serve you and do as much as I can to make this class what I think that I might have been able to add to it. I'm proud to be graduating with these 12 Patrol Academy students and the 5 detention. We've shared so many stories, nicknames that I'd be kicked off the stage if I said, as well as we all shared the soaring victory of being able to pass our post-test together. It is such a joy that we can all be up here on this stage, knowing that when we're done, we don't have to worry about should somebody have to study more, should somebody be worried about passing, because we're all through it. And I want to say finally, not that I've even started my speech, but I want to say it's so nice to have been Mr. Rausch's favorite class of the past, present, and I'm sure future. Growing up, I always wanted to change the world. Easy goal, I'm sure, right? So I thought perhaps the best way to change the world would be to be rich. So I chose to be a cop. Wrong decision. But perhaps choosing to be a cop is a great way to make a change in our world. There's a cultural anthropologist named Margaret Mead who said, "Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it is the only thing that ever has." So I want to speak on an idea, perhaps even a danger, the danger of the other side. Speaking, of course, of the other side of society. We call it civilians, criminals, some call it lowlives. We as cops have lots of names for those who don't wear badges. We speak about them as though we're different. We talk about being their protectors. We act superior. We speak about being heroes or saviors, separated from these unsworn masses through our thin blue line. It's a viewpoint that many law enforcement hold at some point in time in their life or another. This idea that we somehow are different than our community, this idea of an us versus them. But Mr. Rausch was always big on teaching us to dig deeper, to look at things and understand why they're important and whether or not an idea is good or worth throwing away. So should we hold ourselves different? Are we different than those that we protect? I challenge you, friends, fellow officers, deputies, trout sniffers. I challenge you to look at this through a brand new light. We who wear the badge are honored with the responsibility, with the burden, not to stand above, but to be one of those who we serve. We're not called to be onlookers. We're called to be humans like the rest of those that we work with and that we work for. We are called to lift our fellow man up on a pedestal and ensure that predators cannot cut him down from below. Friends, I would like you to examine your uniforms. I'm sure you've heard this before, but we're going to talk about it again. Look at your uniforms of the 3 signifiers that you carry, of your name tag on your chest, of your badge, and of the patch on your arm. Our names represent our family, all of those who are here today, those who we leave behind on our long nights or on our days when we're out working or when we're out sleeping. We have our badges. They show our agency, the department that has trusted us, invested in us to attend these classes, that governs the authority that we've been given. But most importantly, friends, we have on our uniform our patches that show the community that has entrusted us to serve, that has invested in us. Communities that may not know us, may not know that they chose us, but they ask us to be more than a badge. They ask us to be a teacher, a disciplinarian, a parent, a counselor, a friend, a member of the community, but even more so than all of those, they ask us to be leaders. It's a good thing to be all these things, but we must remember, we do not wear these badges because we are heroes. We wear them because somebody must. We wear them because our community deserves police who lift them up. A research study by MIT shows that positive law enforcement, not involved with enforcing law, but simply community interaction with speaking to your neighbors, with speaking to those who are part of your community, has long-lasting positive impacts on communities that can last for months. It reminds people that we're not separate from them. We're not just there to catch the bad guys. We're there to serve them and make our communities a better place. When I started this job, and I've not been in this job long, some of you have been in this job longer than I've been alive, and thank you for doing that. I've been in this job at this point about 4 months, 2 months on the job. But during my first little bit of my training, which I hopefully finish in the next few days, God forbid I mess up, but during early parts of my training, I encountered a teenager who was just an hour away from turning 18. And during my encounter with this teenager, I had at least 2 different reasons to arrest him. But I chose to give him a citation and send him home with his parents. And I went home that day and I wondered, did I make a mistake here? Have I given mercy so early in my job? Am I starting off so weak that I gave mercy when this guy deserved to go to jail? I thought about it for weeks. Every week in my training, I would think about that. Should I be stronger next time? Until I met this child's mother months later, and she told me that had I not handled the situation with grace and with care of another human, that it would have gone so different. But because I did so, he's now turning his life around, and they've found new things that these parents didn't even know he was dealing with. This young teenager's a man now and has turned his life around from a simple law enforcement choice to see him as human. Friends, we are called to be leaders, to stand not in front of or above our community, but stand behind them and support them. I always wanted to change the world. I wanted to be famous, influential, maybe rich, but we've already talked about that. But I believe I can still cause a change. I believe we all can. I might not impact millions, perhaps not even thousands, but through daily interactions, I can change and be part of the community that chose me. I had a mentor when I was younger who would tell me, Tom, if you want to impact the world, start by impacting your fellow man. And it took me a long time to understand. If we can impact the life of even one person, we've made an impact on all. So, fellow servants of man, both back here and out there, our communities deserve servant leaders. Our class vice president, Pete, would often start our days with a quote. Now, I don't know how he managed this, but he always chose great philosophers or masters of humanity who understand the world, and he'd find these great quotes. So I want to end my speech and my last address to my fellow classmates with one other philosopher and great master of humanity, Dr. Seuss. Unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot, nothing's going to get better. It's not. Thank you.
They made a mess of my podium here. We'll get her back. All right. Thank you for those addresses, presidents. Now we're going to move on to the graduation presentations themselves and the presentation of the certificates. What I will do is I will have the dignitaries come up as I call the names of their their folks, and we will present them here. They'll come to me, and then they'll go to whichever one of you is presenting, okay? And then they will stand right here for a moment while they can snap some photos, okay? So we'll start off with our first one, Thomas Tom. First one's usually the challenge. It's all good. Jean-Pierre Espil. Christian William Hawks. Lillian Faye Ward. Tai Zhang. Isela Ray Gill. Caleb J. Rose Darnell. Nick Jones. Jared. No. Jared. You're up, Jared. Jerica Candelaria Carpenter. Carmen Beatriz Fuentes. David L. Allen. Justin Lewis. Alexander Anthony Buys. Efrain de Leon. Colin Martin Jensen. Christopher Flint Chasteen. And the winner of the Oscar is? Now my paperclip came off. There we go. James Richard Hansen. William F. Berg. During the semester, the students have various awards that they can compete for. You've already met the class presidents, which is Thomas Tom of, so nice to name him twice. Thomas Tom of the Patrol Academy was the president, and Caleb J. Rose Darnell was the president of the Detention Academy. But there are some other awards. In the category of the top student in each class. In the Detention Academy, the top student was Caleb J. Rose Darnell. In the Patrol Academy, the award goes clear back to 1965. It's called the Claude F. Wiley Award, and it's to the top scholastic student in the class. A very coveted award. The winner of the Claude F. Wiley Award for top scholastic performance in the Patrol Academy was Thomas Tom. Now, there's an award for driving and, of course, for shooting, because they're cops, after all. And, of course, they're very competitive, and each one's going to be the champion. But at the end of the day, it was very close competition for the top driver. But the top driver is based on many things. First, you have to complete the courses the way you're supposed to, but at the end, you have to do who can get through the course the fastest without hitting cones. Okay? And there were some cones that were put to death out there. But the top driver is Colin Jensen. Now, the top shooter was also close, and there was guys out there. They didn't wish each other well, but they just wish you wouldn't hit the target as much. And it was very, very good competition. The top shooter in the class is Nick Jones. The last award I'm going to talk about is there was a director, 3 directors ago, if I'm counting right, who basically brought a program back that had been in decline here at the College of Southern Idaho. And his name is Brett Reed. Brett not only brought the program back up, but he went on to restore another police academy program, went on to restore a dispatch center, and now he's restoring people's faith in music as he tours playing music. Brett has always taken physical fitness very seriously and has kept himself in top shape. Myself thought he was 28 years old, but he's told me he's older than that by a ways. So I'm joshing him tonight because he is in the audience tonight. The person who, they named an award after Brett due to his commitment to fitness. It's called the Brett Reed Physical Fitness Award. It's given to the most improved physical fitness person in the class. It's voted on by the classmates, but we compare a lot of numbers to do it. And it was a no-brainer. This particular student had come in and had failed several competencies. You have to have 5 physical competencies right off the bat and couldn't pass 3 of those 5. But that person teamed up with Mr. Berg, who I'd mentioned earlier, and just made an absolute, complete turnaround, improving their health to the point that they passed, and they passed every physical test that we put. The person who is the recipient of the Brett Reed Physical Fitness Award is Lillian Faye Ward. I'm very proud of all their achievements, and I can't say enough, but otherwise we would be here the 5 hours. So I'm going to give some closing remarks and then get everyone to dinner, if you can make it since the storm. To the families, friends, instructors, academy staff, trustees of the college, the president and leadership team of CSI, other distinguished guests, and most importantly, to the graduating class seated behind me today, congratulations. I'd like to speak a few words to talk to both of the classes together. First, I really enjoyed that your class always displayed leadership, provided constructive feedback and mentorship continuously, and demonstrated cohesiveness beyond what I have previously observed. This is a remarkable achievement, and one only possible if you all see each other as teammates, no matter which agency you work for or which academy you are currently attending. Secondly, I thank each one of you for never quitting when it got hard, and never succumbing to the pessimism that can so often permeate atmospheres where someone is growing slower than someone else. In this academy, spring of 2026, each of you grew, and you are all better for it. Tonight is a milestone. It's a result of long days, sleepless nights, sore muscles, self-doubt, discipline, sacrifice, and determination. You have pushed through physical exhaustion, academic pressure, intense scrutiny, and moments when quitting may have seemed easier than continuing. But you didn't quit. I can't preach enough of how important that trait is. You're here because you chose perseverance over comfort, discipline over excuses, and service over self-interest. Tonight, you receive your graduation certificate and take your place in one of the most demanding professions in our society. But I want to challenge you with this thought. Graduation is not the culmination of your journey. It is the foundation of your legacy. And that is what I want to talk to you about tonight, the importance of creating and building a legacy worth remembering. When most people hear the word legacy, they think about retirement ceremonies or years of service plaques or commendations or their names engraved on some wall. They think legacy is something you build at the end. It's not. In this profession, legacy begins the very first moment you pin on your badge. Legacy is not built in one heroic moment. It is built in thousands of ordinary moments. It is built in the decisions that no one sees. It is built in how you conduct yourself when no one else is watching. It is built in every traffic stop, every call for service, every report written at 3 a.m., guilty, every conversation with a victim, every interaction with a scared child, every act of patience, professionalism, and integrity. Your legacy will not be defined by your title. Let me give you the facts. It will be defined by your character. Years from now, people will not remember every arrest you made. They will not remember your statistics. They will not remember how many citations you wrote or how many hours of overtime you worked. What they will remember is how you made them feel, whether or not you displayed respect and empathy. You were compassionate when it was appropriate and the right thing to do. They will remember whether you treated people with dignity. They will remember whether or not you were fair. They will remember whether you listened. They will remember whether in some of the worst moments of their lives, you brought calm instead of chaos. That is legacy. You are entering this profession at a challenging time. Law enforcement today is under a microscope like never before. The expectations are high. The criticism can be relentless. The decisions you make will often be judged by people who have never stood where you stand. There will be days when this profession tests every ounce of your patience, your resolve, and your commitment. On those days, remember why you started. You did not choose this path because it was easy. This is not a 6-7 job. You chose it because it mattered. You chose it because somewhere along the way, you decided that your life should stand for something greater than personal comfort. You chose service. And service is the birthplace of legacy. The truth is, every officer leaves a legacy. The only question is whether it will be one worth remembering. Some officers leave behind a legacy of cynicism. They allow bitterness to harden them. They let repeated exposure to darkness convince them that darkness is all there is. They become detached, dismissive, burned out. And eventually, they become a warning for others. But other officers leave a very different legacy. They remain grounded. They remain compassionate. They stay professional under pressure. They mentor younger officers. They protect their integrity. They never forget the humanity behind the badge. They become the kind of officers others point to and say, that's who I want to be. You need to be those officers because your legacy will not only affect the public you serve, it will shape the others who come after you. Each one of us has masters. We have stood on the shoulders of those who came before us, and so will you. One day a recruit will watch how you handle yourself. They will observe how you speak to people, how you handle stress, how you make decisions, how you carry the weight of this profession. And whether you realize it or not, you will teach them what this badge means. That is legacy. It is influence passed forward. You do not need decades on the job to begin building it. You begin that building tonight. And if you want to build a legacy worth remembering, I would offer you these 3 principles. First, guard your integrity at all costs. In law enforcement, your reputation is your currency. It takes years to build and seconds to destroy. There will be moments, small moments even, when cutting corners seems easier, when compromising your standards seems convenient, when no one else would know. Those are the moments that define you. Integrity is not proven when it is easy. It's proven when it is costly. Protect it fiercely, because once trust is broken, it is nearly impossible to restore. Second, never lose your humanity. The profession will expose you to people at their worst. Not always the worst people. Some of them are great people, just at their worst moments. You will witness pain, violence, addiction, cruelty, and tragedy. If you're not careful, repeated exposures can make you numb, and numbness is dangerous. You can be tactically sharp and emotionally resilient without becoming cold. Strength does not require hardness. Some of the strongest officers I have ever known were also the most compassionate. They knew when to be firm. They knew when to listen. They understood that authority is the most powerful when it is paired with empathy and compassion. Never let the uniform erase your humanity. The badge is something you wear. It must never become who you are. Third, remember that legacy is built through consistency. Not every day will be extraordinary. Most days will be routine. There will be lots of paperwork, frustration, long shifts, missed holidays, court on your day off, quiet acts of service that no one applauds. But greatness in this profession is rarely ever dramatic. It is found in consistency, in showing up prepared, in doing the right thing repeatedly, in choosing excellence even when no one notices. Brick by brick. Are you building a wall? Are you building a building? Or are you building a cathedral? What is your vision? That is how enduring legacies are built, through vision. Graduates, tonight your families and friends and coworkers and all of the folks who've come here to support you are very proud of you. They have watched you sacrifice. They have supported you through this process. They have shared in the stress, the uncertainty, and the commitment it took to reach this moment. Never forget that your career will affect them too. Your legacy will not only be written in your department, it will also be written at home. The people who love you will remember whether this profession made you better or made you bitter. Whether it strengthened your character or consumed it. Whether you stayed connected to what matters most, they will remember. Protect those relationships. Success in law enforcement means little if it costs you everything else. And finally, understand this. A badge gives you authority, but your conduct gives you credibility. Your title may earn compliance. Your character earns respect. And respect, not fear, is the foundation of lasting influence. Years from now, when your career is over and your final shift is complete, what will remain? Will people remember an officer who simply did the job? Or will they remember someone who elevated it? Someone who served with courage, led with integrity, acted with humility, and left the profession stronger than they found it. That choice begins right now. Not a retirement, not after promotion, not after recognition, now. Tonight, as you leave this academy and begin your careers, I challenge each of you to think beyond the next shift, the next year, or even a promotion. Think about how your story, think about the story your career will tell. Think about the legacy your actions will write. And then commit yourself to building one worth remembering, a legacy of honor, a legacy of service, a legacy of integrity, a legacy that causes people years from now to say they wore the badge the right way. CSI Class of Spring 2026, congratulations. Wear your badge with humility, carry it with honor, serve with courage. And starting tonight, begin building a legacy worthy of remembrance. In honor of our great class vice president, Jean Espil, I like a quote too. In the words of martial arts movie action hero Bruce Lee, some of you may not know who that was, He said this: "The key to immortality is first living a life worth remembering. Be sure you do it with integrity, honor, consistency, and service. Thank you. Stay safe. Stay the course." Thank you. Class, attention. Dismissed. They will be assembling out on the stairwell if you want to come out and take some pictures of them together.